I would like to speak with you about a watch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not this watch, but we have this a very similar one in the auction, and I just wanted to speak with you about the significance of the famous watch that we're going to address. And we have somebody from Geneva here. This is Roy Davidoff.
Hello, Roy. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
So Roy, maybe let me start you off. What do you think, like, isn't it amazing that half a century later this watch is still, after the whole moon story, still probably the most famous wristwatch in history, right?
The wristwatch that got us the most excited about our business is the Speedmaster. And when you study about the Speedmaster, you learn about the close ties with NASA and all the ground tests, and then the successful missions. First, as you said, around the moon and the moon landing, and then the missions you were part of. What I love to explain to people is I say, you know, when you speak about all the equipment that went in for astronauts and all these things that were used and all the tests, and you guys did years of training, and then the story goes that I had the pleasure of meeting Jim Regan as well.
Yeah, he's the engineer that did the test for all the watches that were selected, and Omega was the only one that passed all the tests.
So it's funny because when I explained what the tests were, it's a bit complex, but basically the watches were dropped, boiled, frozen, and survived better than all the other brands back in the day.
What is it to you? Like, I already found out you're not that much like a material guy. You don't like, but the watch is a thing. But what does that thing on your wrist, does that, like, in an emotional way, what does the Speedmaster mean to you?
Well, it was a very important piece of equipment that we used. My job was to time the engine burns and to get us into orbit, to get us out of orbit, the reentry, skip out, and all of these maneuvers that could happen to us. And the computer was going to fly it automatically, but if the computer failed, we knew that the burn was going to be 23 seconds or whatever. And so when the engine started, I started my watch, and it started a countdown. And when it got to the end of 22 seconds, I'd start to say shut down, and the engine would shut it down. But the backup was the watch. We had the time in this watch. I had my watch, and when the engine ignited, I started the watch, and I forgot whether it was a 20-second burn or whatever, but when it got to the end, I'm just about ready to say shut down. I was forming the words when the engine shuts down, and it was a perfect burn. And we could tell whether it was going to be overburn or underburn, because we knew when the Earth came up, if it came up early, that means we were underburned. If it came up later, that means we would hit the moon. So it was the watch was incredibly useful to back up the automatic systems.
And it's analog.
And it's analog.
It's analog, yeah. It's not gonna. Yeah, and to this day, maybe Roy, if you would pass me that glove as well. Because, I mean, it's not today because it's already, time flies. So this is already 2015, so it's already 9 years ago. But they still use, astronauts and cosmonauts are still using the Omega Speedmaster today. It's amazing. Still the same watch, still plexi, because
with the sapphire crystal, if it broke apart, it would do shards. Actually, yours is actually sapphire crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the special one. But most of the ones that are issued for astronauts that go up have the plexi.
Okay.
Because they're worried about if it cracks.
Yeah.
The shards are very dangerous.
So it looks exactly like yours, right?
Yeah.
But what can you tell us about, because many watch fans, I mean, I don't know how much you are in the watch family, because I'm sure you know there is like many collectors out there and they go crazy about watches.
Yeah.
So like when we
like us.
yes. So
Well,
when we posted this watch, what everybody was like fascinated about was nobody talked about the watch. Everybody's talking about the strap. Can
Yeah.
you tell us about this strap?
Well, it would fit over the glove. And actually, the one we had a break in it. And you locked it and you pulled it tight, and it would fit over this glove. So you could, I think I had mine on my face and my underside, my wrist, and it would fit over the EVA glove like this one here.
Okay.
And so, metal band, wouldn't do it, but this, you could adjust it to anything you wanted.
So you can't wear it like this now. You have
Yeah.
to strap it around.
Yeah, we had a slit here so you could wrap it around and tighten it up for just your wrist or over the glove.
Okay. So this is Gennady Padalka's watch. Did you meet him? He was the man who spent most time in space. I think 870.
I think we met him at a Starmus festival one time. He was the commander of the Soyuz during the Apollo Soyuz flight. And
because the amazing thing about this is that so this is the glove that he wore with the watch.
oh,
And he had like one of these small GoPro cameras on his helmet, and he filmed himself in space working on the ISS on an antenna, and you can actually see the glove with the serial number in the video. So it's an interesting piece of space history. But thank you so much for now quickly coming up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was really a pleasure.
thank you very much. Good to see you.